What's going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well this afternoon. I just wanted to give you a update in regards to Bitcoin and the charts. So my initial thesis unfortunately was invalidated. I tried to do a trend spot where I initially thought that we kind of had some form of channel here of some kind, something like that. It immediately broke down and then also got back tested as resistance. I was holding on to my, excuse me, I was holding on to my long trade. This happened during the morning, but actually I got stopped out earlier this morning. And yeah, since then I've just been been busy working on some different stuff, and now I'm kind of looking at the charts. I did a quick long scalp, and yeah, that one thankfully was in profit. But yeah, ultimately, I'm looking at this chart here and more so zoomed out. The 618 was more powerful in terms of resistance than I had initially thought, and I've been redoing my lines here. Specifically, I believe this is for the 1 hour chart, or actually no, this is for the 37-minute chart here. So I do have this descending channel here. Ultimately, though, on these shorter term intraday levels on the 15-minute time frame, I have identified a falling wedge. Now, these are predominantly bullish. Ultimately, though, I am kind of expecting kind of a rejection from this red line right here. So that's where my eyeballs are currently at. Ultimately, we did get some additional support here, so a big factor as to why I'm still kind of in really looking for long positions is that we are getting an identification of new support kind of building up here. So that's a big reason as to why. Also, we got pretty much basically the 618 is still acting as strong support. So that's why I feel pretty good in regards to ultimately this uh, breaking to the upside. Now we are kind of experiencing sideways and down. I am kind of expecting, personally, this is not financial advice, just more so my opinion, an eventual breakout of this falling wedge, whether if it's right here, a back test and continuation, or we get a rejection, come back down, and ultimately get a break, and then kind of continuing to the upside. Now, I myself, I'm not in a position right now. Actually, I want to show you, I am using this Bitget platform here. You see today's P&L, I'm down 29%. I believe I lost like 78 bucks. Oh, by the way, just for perspective, I was using a $500 account, and so yeah, as it stands, I started August 1st. Now I'm up like pretty much 83%. My win rate's not bad, right? I never really show this aspect of my trading, but I don't know. I just felt like it's important to like get you guys updated on what I'm actually doing. So my whole goal for August was to create kind of like a trading account specifically for the channel. Just I put in 500 bucks and let's see where I'm going. So yeah, I was down, I believe, $76 in terms of today's P&L, but I've been scalped, doing quick scalps and stuff, so I've got it back up to negative 0.29. Yeah, so I'm gonna be kind of periodically doing scalps. Like going back to the charts here, I like doing scalp trades within identified patterns, right? And then when you see breakouts, I like to do trend-based stuff where I hold my positions longer and I just ride the wave, or I just ride the wave. So either up or down. So that's why I'm more so doing scalpings at this time. But anyway, going back to more significant time frames, let's say the 4 hour. What I don't like about the 4 hour, I'm going to turn off this support and resistance because it's more so for intraday. It's not really for what I'm showing now. What I don't like about the 4 hour time frame is that price is back below key exponential moving averages essentially, and as you can see, it's gone back to red. I don't necessarily like that. From my perspective, I do feel like even if we were to get a break out of this falling wedge, we would ultimately still see resistance here at this descending channel resistance line, which is this one right here. I'm very concerned about that. It seems pretty strong at this point, so I am taking that into consideration as well. So even if we were to see any upward movements outside of this particular intraday level, which is more valid in the 15-minute time frame per se, I would still see the zero point 0.5 Fibonacci level as resistance, and I would also see this downward sloping line as resistance. So at best, even if we're to, let's say we were able to get like a wick bottom right here and go all the way up and hold it, that's still 0.89%. You know, it's not bad, especially if you're using leverage or whatever. But ultimately, I do feel like we're kind of stuck in this area. Um, what I do kind of like in terms of this macro outlook is the 618 has not given up. We've been getting bounces here. We got a bounce right here. We got a bounce right here. So that to me is a very, very good indication that we still have an opportunity to see price action break out of this descending channel sooner rather than later. Now, if we were to continue into this descending channel, then oh my god, I would expect that to last for some time, because I'm gonna just delete this yellow Fibonacci lines just so you don't get any confusions here. Usually when the 618 is lost as a support, the 5 is usually ignored and price will usually come back down to the 0.382. So that's a significant drop. We're talking, this is just theory, right? We're still above the 618 Fibonacci and it's still acting as support, but you have to be aware of macro pitfalls. And this pitfall is a negative 5.72% dump. Okay, and if the trend is that much more powerful, we're going all the way down to the 0.3. I'm sorry, the 0.236. So that's the bearish outlook. Conversely, if the 0.618 does hold up, which this is just my opinion, I ultimately think it will sustain as support. I do think that if we break out of this descending channel here, we're looking at prices all the way up to 31.8, and ultimately, the macro Fibonacci target is at 1618, which is at 36.2, until we see a significant dump to then reset prices and all that kind of stuff. But that is the bullish outlook. Now, given what I'm seeing on macro levels, like the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour, we're still technically bullish, but I just wanted to let you know the 618 was tested this morning, and yeah, I mean, thankfully, limit orders from whales kind of pushed price up, and now we're kind of back into seeing true bullish patterns. Now, these are not fulfilled yet. It's going to take some time, but at the end of the day, it's just taking it level by level, even though as it stands, we did get some whale manipulation. It seems that there's some resiliency at the 618 level, and as you can see in the indicators here, we had a pretty big whale kind of dump today. See that yellow X? My indicator tells me that that's usually anomalies. It goes against the trend. But these things do happen. We do have whales that just wake up one day and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna sell 2,000 Bitcoin today." That does happen. Sometimes people trade on leverage with these gargantuan amounts. So it's more so rare to see them on higher term time frames, because I do think that yeah, this was visible in the 37-minute time frame. You usually see these like in lower term time frames, like the 3-minute. Like right here. I think during the weekend it was crazy. We got yellow X's. So yellow X's means bearish caution. These little whale indicators means bullish caution. So we had a lot of manipulation over the weekend. But you can see it like on lower term time frames. It's kind of rare when you see it like in higher term time frames, but it just goes to show that there was a big player. They wanted the price to go down, and guess what? It did go down. So yeah, anyway, that's all I got for you today. But yeah, I guess we can go into more momentum oscillator type stuff. So on the 4-minute, It looks like, because if you look at the yellow line here, which is the volume weighted average, once this starts curling up, it just means that we're most likely going to get like a buy signal. So that's the 4 hour. That's more of like a traditional trader or time frame. The 2 hour is kind of like a precursor to that. So I'm going to go to the 2 hour here. We already got a buy signal, and we also got one of these right here. That is a big sign that we might actually see continuation moving forward. Now, I would frankly want to get in a better position. I would rather get, at a like a red candle, somewhere below the exponential moving average on like, the 15-minute time frame or whatever. I'm not financial advice, just my perspective. But let me go to the 1 hour here. 1 hour, the VWAP looks a little overextended. We're still having negative money flow, so I would much rather see momentum kind of continue to the upside, come back down, and then create a higher low wave so that we can ride that safe trigger wave right there. It's at that point I would feel that much more confident in opening up a long position, more, a mid-term swing position, but we're just not there yet. Right now, we're still kind of taking our time in establishing support above the exponential moving averages. As you can see, if you really zoom in here, price is trying to establish the 9 exponential moving average as support. As it stands, the 21 exponential moving average is resistance, and the 50 exponential moving average, these two, the 21 and the 50, are still acting as resistance. So we have to be very, very cautious. So I'm expecting some choppiness until we see type of a resolution at resistance. We could either break above it, establish it as support, continue, or we can do the exact opposite, is where we kind of just finagle around and then get rejected, and we ultimately retest the 618. And at that point, I will, make a decision. Okay, is it worthwhile to open up a long position, or have we solidified the 618 as resistance? And at that point, all bets are off. But we're not there yet. That's just more so preemptive type of decision to be thinking about. Anyway, I hope this was valuable. Take care. Have a great rest of the night, and bye-bye.